Prebiotic sodas are everywhere right now, but what does prebiotic actually mean, and do you really know what you're drinking? Today we're breaking down Poppi and similar prebiotic sodas so you can understand what's actually inside them, how they work, and whether they're actually worth it. Poppi is a prebiotic soda, which means it's designed to support gut health instead of just being a regular sugary drink. The idea behind prebiotics is that they are types of fiber that help feed the good bacteria already living in your gut. So instead of just drinking something for flavor, the goal is that you're also giving your digestive system something that can support balance over time. Now, one of the biggest reasons people switch to drinks like Poppi is sugar content. Traditional sodas can contain around 30 to 40 grams of sugar in a single can. That's a lot for one drink, especially if you're having them regularly. Poppi, on the other hand, usually contains only a few grams of sugar depending on the flavor. That difference alone is a major reason why people see it as a better alternative. Lower sugar means fewer calories, and for some people, less of that spike and crash feeling that comes from high-sugar drinks. Another ingredient you'll often see in Poppi is apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar is commonly associated with digestion and general wellness. In Poppi, it's included in small amounts, so it's not something you taste strongly on its own, but it contributes to both the flavor and the overall positioning of the drink as something more functional than a typical soda. Now let's talk about taste, because this is where opinions usually split. Poppi still tastes like soda, but it's lighter and less sweet compared to traditional options. Some flavors have a slight tang or fruity note which comes from the ingredients used. Because of that, some people really enjoy it as a refreshing alternative, while others feel like it doesn't fully replace the classic soda taste they're used to. So it really comes down to personal preference. Now, Poppi isn't the only brand in this space. Another major competitor is Olipop. Olipop is also a prebiotic soda, but it tends to use a wider range of plant-based ingredients and fibers in its formulation. Compared to Poppi, Olipop is often seen as having a more complex ingredient profile, and some people feel that certain Olipop flavors taste closer to traditional soda. Both brands fall into what's often called functional beverages, meaning drinks that are designed to do more than just taste good. In this case, they aim to provide a soda-like experience while including ingredients that are marketed as supportive for gut health. So when you compare Poppi and Olipop, the core idea is very similar, but the approach is slightly different. Poppi tends to keep things relatively simple with a focus on prebiotics and a lighter soda experience. Olipop leans more into a broader ingredient blend with multiple plant fibers and a slightly more complex formula. Now let's break down the pros of drinks like these. One of the biggest advantages is the reduction in sugar compared to regular soda. If you're someone who drinks soda frequently, switching to something like Poppi or Olipop can significantly lower your overall sugar intake over time. Another benefit is the inclusion of prebiotics or fiber. While these aren't miracle ingredients, they can play a role in supporting gut health as part of a balanced diet that already includes whole foods. They also give you an option that still feels like a treat. A lot of people struggle to completely cut out soda, so having an alternative that still gives that carbonated, flavored experience can make it easier to stick to healthier habits. Now let's talk about the downsides. Even though these drinks are marketed as healthier, they are still processed beverages. That means they shouldn't be treated as a replacement for water or whole, nutrient-dense foods. The health benefits are also not extreme or guaranteed. Drinking a prebiotic soda alone is not going to dramatically transform your gut health without the support of an overall balanced diet and lifestyle. Another factor is cost. Drinks like Poppi and Olipop are typically more expensive than regular soda. If you're buying them often, the price can add up over time compared to traditional soft drinks. Taste is another consideration. While some people enjoy the lighter and slightly tangy profile, others may prefer the stronger sweetness and familiarity of regular soda. So switching isn't always a one-to-one replacement in terms of flavor. Now let's zoom out a bit and look at the bigger picture. Prebiotic sodas are part of a growing trend in the beverage industry where companies are trying to create better-for-you alternatives to traditional products. Instead of removing soda completely from people's lives, the goal is to redesign it with ingredients that appeal to health-conscious consumers. This is why you're seeing more options like Poppi, Olipop, and similar drinks appearing in stores and gaining popularity online. But it's important to understand what these drinks are and what they are. They're not health supplements in the traditional sense. They're not replacements for proper nutrition, and they're not guaranteed to improve your health on their own. What they are is an alternative. An alternative to high-sugar soda. An alternative for people who want something that feels like soda but aligns a bit more with their goals of reducing sugar or making slightly better choices. So who are these drinks actually for? They're a good fit for people who want to cut back on sugar, still enjoy drinking soda occasionally, are looking for a lighter alternative to traditional soft drinks, want something that feels like a treat without going full sugar. On the other hand, if someone is already focused on hydration, whole foods, and a balanced diet, these drinks are more of an optional addition rather than something necessary. So here's the final verdict. Poppi and similar prebiotic sodas like Olipop are solid alternatives to regular soda if your goal is to reduce sugar and still enjoy a carbonated drink. They offer a middle ground between completely cutting out soda and continuing to drink high-sugar options. However, they shouldn't be seen as a miracle health solution. The benefits are relatively small on their own, and they work best as part of an overall healthy lifestyle rather than as a replacement for it. At the end of the day, if you're choosing between regular soda and a prebiotic soda, the prebiotic option is generally the better choice. But if you're choosing between a prebiotic soda and water, water is still the healthiest option. So it really comes down to balance, awareness, and understanding what you're actually drinking.